joined us.
Okay. Oh, yep, I see that. Okay. So I will call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is to approve the minutes from the February 16th meeting.
I'll move approval. This is Katie.
I will second, Erin.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Was that everyone? Okay, I think we're moving on to agenda item number 1. Welcome, new Arts Committee member, Jessica. Thank you for joining us. So you pronounce it Regal, is that how it's pronounced?
Regal, you've got it. Yep.
Okay, just
It
like
looks
the
like
Regal flag.
Regali. It looks like it should be something way more exotic than it is, but it's really just Regal.
So how about everyone go around and just say something quick about themselves, and then Jessica can say something about herself, and then we can kind of know each other virtually. Do you want to go first, Julia?
Yeah, sure. So hi, I'm Julia. I've joined pretty recently. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Sequential Art, which is comic books. I went to art college in Savannah, Georgia, and I participated in a few of the events here lately. Some of the recent ones I did was teaching some comic classes with the middle school at Cromrie here. And hopefully just doing some other comic book stuff. So that's my interest. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. How cool. That makes, now your email makes more sense too, Julia, because I was like, oh, very intriguing when I read about the information about the Comic-Con and everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, nice to meet you.
You too.
Erin, why don't you go?
Hi, Erin Summers. My 9 to 5 is I'm one of the partners at Sketchworks Architecture, but I'm also an artist, oil painter, acrylic painter on the side. I have been part of the committee for 2 years now. Came off of Parks before that. I do a lot of the pop-up art things, both when Stonehorse Green was before it was under construction, and then we try to pair up for holidays and stuff now. Jessica, if you remember a couple of years ago when she bought my patio set, so.
Oh my gosh. And
Like,
by the way, it's getting a lot of good use.
Awesome.
I have 3 teenage boys who have like really put to the test to it, and it's still up and surviving and well loved.
Awesome.
Well, I can't wait to see your art sometime, Erin.
Yeah, I'll be hopefully at the art walk.
You probably
And
saw
one-
it already because at the art walk last year, Erin's artwork was on all the advertisements. It was a zebra.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
it's also been up your neighbors across the street, John Christine Gallery. I've had my
Well,
paintings up a few times.
I had wondered about that, and I was like, am I making the right connection? So okay. Oh, it's beautiful work.
Thank you.
Katie, you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, Jessica. I'm Katie Nelson. I'm the alder for District 3, and I've been on the Arts Committee for, I don't know, has it been 4 years already?
Yeah,
Maybe something like that. I am only an artist when it comes to buying stuff and decorating my house, but it's not. My day job is that I'm a Pilates instructor. I have a studio here at my home now, and I've been teaching that for 26 years. And I love this committee because I'm more of the right-brained type of girl. So this really suits me, and I'm super excited to have you on board.
Oh, thanks a lot. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Officially. I know I've seen you in meetings and things, and I've heard your voice and things like that. So it's just nice to officially meet you.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Jolene, do you want to go?
Sure. Hi, Jessica, and everyone. My name's Jolene, and my pronouns are they, them. And let's see, I am a product manager for a small software firm. And let's see, I was a returning adult learner, and I recently, like 8 years ago, recent now, time is going on, graduated from UW with a degree in biomedical engineering. And so I have a little bit of that, I bring the engineer credential, which was one of the prereqs for this committee, I think. But in terms of art, yeah, in terms of art, I'm a musician, sing and play piano, and have gigged out a little bit as a jazz vocalist. But anywho, yeah. So, and if you'll recall, I think we worked together on a SIP sample socialize quite a few years back, before COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
good to see you again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then since our last committee meeting, I actually discovered a local artist there. This is Bunny Attack Art, and she does ink illustration.
Ooh.
And this is one of her prints. She just does all these cool, weird things with bunnies, and I'm just in love.
Very cool.
But
you
she,
talk to her about
what? I
Did you
did
talk
talk
to
to her about artwork. She is over, I don't know what she does like all the time, but where I met her was at Glitter Workshop over at the Garver Feed Mill. She works there as well as displays her art there, or sells her art there. So if not this year, hopefully next year.
Oh, how cool. Well, Jolene, it's nice to meet you. And I am so sorry. I'm stepping away for just a minute. I heard my bell. Somebody's picking up
Oh.
a package. I will be right back.
No worries.
Abby, do you want to introduce yourself too?
Sebastian can go first.
She kind of
Hello.
knows you, right?
Well, oh, wait, I guess if
Let's wait for
Jessica's
Jessica.
away-
Sure.
Well, yeah, we have to wait for Jessica. I just wasn't sure. I was just asking if Abby wanted to say something because I know her and Jessica already know each other really well.
Oh, yeah, we have known each other for a very long time. No introductions needed.
I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to like skip you or.
Yeah, I will say, this is one thing Jessica probably doesn't know about me, but it's my favorite way to introduce myself to the new arts committee members. That I think that the reason that I got this job at the city 15 years ago is because during my interview, I mentioned that I was, as an intern when I was in graduate school, I was staffing the public arts committee for the city of Iowa City. And I was back in Iowa City over the weekend, and it was really fun to like see all the progress that they've made with their public art program. It's really, really cool. I know that they actually had kind of a very large scale public piece that they had selected and were trying to get funding for that really would have been a draw. Like they would have put them on the map in the whole Midwest if they would have been able to pull off this public art installation, but ended up getting voted down due to opposition from people in the community. And this is going back now like 5 years, and it's still, my friend is a city planner there, and I was talking to her about it over the weekend, and she's still upset about it. There are still people that are, upset about what happened there. So anyway, Jessica, I was killing time since we already know each other, and now Sebastian can introduce himself.
Hello. Hi, I'm Sebastian Norbeck. I've been on the arts committee since last fall. My day job is I work for a company called CodeWorks, which does art commissions around North America and does promotion for artists and events and conferences. And I do admin for site-specific art calls around the U.S. and try and put things together for art programs around the country and for private companies too.
Very interesting. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Welcome.
Thanks.
Jessica, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, I own the Regal Find, which is a shop located in downtown Middleton, next to Village Green. We focus on carrying art or items that are made by local artisans. Bulk of what we carry is art, and it's a range of different things from prints to also more like artisan made items from like home decor, bath and body, greeting cards. We have a lot of the artists are from Wisconsin, but we've also started to spread out more. We have an artist from Wales and a couple from Canada, some fair trade artists, but we mostly focus on trying to keep it small family-owned businesses so that it's carefully curated, and we hope to always know a little bit about who we're carrying in the shop. I'm really excited to be involved in the committee. I'm also a resident of Middleton, and I've been here since 1979. So I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of really exciting things happening in the city. And I just think this is an area where I would love to be able to contribute if I can. And I dabble a little bit myself in some watercolor and jewelry making. So sometimes I have a few things here at the shop, but most of the time it's been like running the shop. So that's a little bit about me.
We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, should we move on?
Julia has her hand raised.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to say, Jessica, I bought my husband's Father's Day gift from your shop. That I got him a set of Sopranos stickers from there. So I thought that was really fun.
Those are, some of my personal favorites. So especially the What Would Tony Soprano Do,
That's the one I got in the I forget what it was called, the meat shop.
Oh yeah, Satriel's. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm so glad. That's great.
Okay, so item number 2 is the public art master plan addendum, which I don't know. I don't think that we have to do anything about that. You're just
No. Yeah, I just keep it in the packet so that it's handy and we can refer to it when we're thinking about projects.
Okay. So we can move on to number 3, art walk events planning, which I think I'll pass on to Erin.
You're muted, Erin.
I have yelling children outside here. So art walk updates. We got in a few more artists, but I think we just need to extend the deadline like we did last year to kind of make another final call. I sent out a bunch of emails to the Arts and Crafts Alliance artists and we got one in, right? Susan
Yes.
has applied.
The design.
Yeah, good. And I had one more tell me that they were going to, as long as we extended it. So it'd be nice to get a few more because we're not sitting nearly as many as we were last year at this point in time, which obviously contributes to our budget. One of them didn't know she was accepted, so that check should be on the way to Abby.
Well,
many-
I didn't know she was accepted either.
Oh,
I mean, I sort of assumed that she was because she was in the art walk last year, but I don't think anybody ever emailed me to say that she had been accepted.
Okay. Well, we should, we'll double check all of that, just to kind of get emails out to anyone who hasn't sent in their checks yet, just to make sure everyone's coming. So
how many artists do you have?
what are we up to, Abby? 20.
Let me pull up
Three.
the spreadsheet here.
I put mine in at the 11th hour too. So assuming I get accepted, that's one more.
I don't know. I've heard maybe I heard she
Yeah.
she can get a little, raucous at her booth. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding. Just kidding.
We'll see.
So, in terms of the artists that have both been accepted and paid the application fee, there are a total of 16.
Okay.
But there are an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 that have been accepted but have not paid their fee. So that probably is just a matter of reminding them. So I would say that there are 20 total that have been accepted, and then there's an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that have submitted but have not yet been reviewed per my recording. But if I've missed an email or something from you and Michelle and Jolene, let me know. So I think we could have up to 28.
Okay.
I'm
Who
so
do we
glad
think
Rick
is our-
Ross isn't on there. He seemed to really love it last time, Rick Ross.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get, should I reach out to him separately?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should
would-
do another round of emails to anyone who participated last year, the artists in Middleton list, like.
Is
Yeah,
he
I
the
had another-
woodworker? Is he the the wooden
It's
stuff?
like cold pressed oil or something like that.
Oh, cool. What's the max we think we can handle?
50.
Okay. So we're way off that. So we can
Yeah.
just keep on asking people. Okay.
So did you guys share it on all like the artist Facebook groups and stuff on Facebook, obviously? There's like Wisconsin artists, there's I think like a Dane County artist Facebook page. Those were like places that I posted last year. I could look up all the places, but there's a
That
lot.
would be great.
Doing
Um,
Facebook. No, I just emailed it to our listserv, the AIM database, the artists who participated last year. And then Sebastian sent me a list of artists that they work with at CodaWorks, and I sent it to those. I'm not sure how Aaron and Michelle have been promoting it.
Shared to Facebook. I'm not part of all those groups you mentioned, Meg, but shared to everyone in the Momoka list and the Arts and Crafts Alliance that I have.
Okay, that's good. Momoka Arts and Crafts.
Yeah, well-
Meg, if you have a list of places to post, I'm happy to join and then post, repost or whatever. Or if it's better channel to have the city, I don't know if the city page can do that. So I'm happy to do it personally. And then, I've just basically done a lot of like in-person networking, walking around various art fairs, like at Old Brick, there was one, if there's anything at Garver, and just kind of like talking it up. That's mostly what I've been doing. So I don't really know if that's had an impact or not, but hopefully it's building for the future.
Yeah,
Aaron, what's the deadline right now?
deadline was on the 15th.
Okay, so you guys are gonna extend it.
I applied at like 10 p.m. on the 14th.
And
Uh,
the form itself is still live.
Yeah,
Should
that's
we
what I
send it through? What do you think?
Well, logistically, what do we need to do to accommodate, probably what, 5 to 10 more? I mean, could we go up through like May the 5th, that Friday?
It comes down to printing of the maps, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should run that by Michelle then?
yeah, I think she must be coordinating that this year. So
Okay.
the printer
All right.
needs like 2 to 3 days probably to print it, but she'll need time to lay it out.
yeah, I would say
May 5th, maybe?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. That gives us, 2 full business weeks, 10 full business days to get
Okay.
things accomplished.
And we
Okay.
did say in the acceptance email, we said that we would be back in touch with them in mid-April with more information. So, I don't know. I think I have a lot of their bio information and photographs, which leading up to the event, we post their bio and a photograph, and then we'll say like these and more to kind of get people excited.
Got
So
it.
I
Where
think
do you
yeah.
Where do you post it? Like on social channels or emails, or what do
In
you
the
do?
Facebook event itself.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there is a Facebook event. There are, I think, over 700 people who have
Yeah.
as attending, but that will hopefully grow and grow leading up.
Right. And we can take this offline, Abby, if you want, but I'm doing the auction. My firm, we're doing the website for that. So maybe we could also, maybe just create a page for each artist. That might be kind of nice. And then honestly, I could probably light up access for them to upload their content if that's okay. Because that's something I could do. It'd probably take me about a week to spin up. But again, I can take it offline. But
Yeah.
if we're allowed to do that, then I would be happy to do that. And you just give me a URL to point it to. And
Oh yeah, we have most of their website information.
I just meant like some sort of landing page or some sort of, city page or we can just, grab a domain or something to that effect. If we don't have our own dedicated domain for the art walk, then, we can use
yeah,
like some sort
there's
of
some like
subdomain.
legality with that, right, Abby?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to understand more what it would be.
Just like artwalkmiddleton.com or see it at city, you know, or again, we could just have somewhere in your IT, you could just give us a URL and then we could just put the necessary files out there
Oh,
to create
okay.
the site.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I'll make a note here to touch base with you outside this meeting just to get that sort of those tech details locked down, and then we can then I don't mind increasing the scope of the auction page to include all the artists, just a directory. You know,
Okay.
probably the MVP will be just a simple list, you know, but then the stretch goal will be just to have a little mini bio page for each artist if they're so inclined to fill it out.
We do, yeah, we do have, here, let me kind of show you so you can see. So. Bios for social media. So let me see if I share this, if you guys will be able to see everything. So, oops, I haven't featured any of them yet. So we ask each artist, I don't know if you're able to
Nice.
see these pictures and
Yeah.
their description.
Nice.
So
Oh
usually,
yeah.
yeah, so usually what we'll do is we'll just like copy and paste whatever it is that they send. Sometimes we also will link at the bottom to their website if they have a website or a Facebook page. And then we share an image, and then we tell that artist to go and share that to their personal page so that more people will click on attending the event, because then they can bring their following along.
Great. Okay. I mean, basically it's just a conversation to be had generally, which is, you know, keep it all in the social media realm, or, you know, do it in a website as well. I'm kind of okay with either. Because you know, there's a lot of folks not on social media.
Yeah, I guess I would probably defer it to Michelle, since she's kind of the lead, Michelle and Aaron, to decide.
Sounds
I
good.
don't want to tell you to do something if they
Yep.
have other thoughts. So
No worries. And Aaron, sorry, I missed that last one. I didn't see that notification. So we're talking tomorrow, I believe. So yeah. Right.
Yeah, I swear there's some legality with creating our own site for this. I don't know if I'm thinking of that from Parks Commission when we tried to do that outside, but anyways, we'll have to dig into that.
Okay.
So
Well-
other main thing is that I noticed maybe 1 or 2 people from the committee signed up for shifts for volunteer, but we're missing a lot of shifts. I will say I'm starting to get nervous about even participating as an artist myself, because Michelle medically is going to be done at like 12 as far as the ringleader here, just because last year was just way too much for her physically. So that means I'm going to be trying to run my own booth and coordinate all the volunteers from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., at which point I can hand my booth off to my husband to pack up and take home. But
Right.
where are
we
you
have-
guys keeping the volunteer information? I haven't even seen that.
There's a sign up link. Aaron, you know, you can pass off anything to me as well. I'm on, you know, I'm involved too. And so if you want to schedule me from 12 to 5, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I would love to
coordinate.
have another person, just so that all the volunteers have the cell phone of, if they don't know where to go, if they need to know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, all you need to do is let me know when you want me to, like, just assign me the role. I can, you know, block off the whole afternoon for volunteer coordination. No
Awesome.
worries. I got the
Yes,
whole
here,
day blocked.
I'm not sure I saw a sign up. And my bad if I, you know, ignored something I shouldn't have. But
Michelle sent it out a couple weeks ago. I can re-forward it to the whole committee. But yeah,
Here it
lots of
is.
spots still in there. I think
Yeah.
half of my office has signed up for a shift, so at least we got some participation there.
and I think you
But-
should send it to the whole council too.
Oh,
Yeah,
smart.
good idea.
Mhm.
Come
Um,
on, right?
Except for I saw that Emily is an artist.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
that too.
That's
Sorry, Meg, and I think maybe you were going to do this anyway, but let's start by filling in members from this committee.
Yeah.
This committee should have, I think maybe if we could all grab a shift, that would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
everyone can do at least 1 2-hour shift. It's anywhere from like sitting down at the information table to just standing up and directing traffic. I know we have no one signed up for the end of the day. my business partner and one of our designers took the nice 5:30 shifts that like no one wants, which is awesome because they're both headed out of town that morning. So they're like, this is the only one I can do. I'm like, that's the one everyone hates. So good. So I'll at least have someone directing traffic from both ends this year, because I know that was a problem last year. But yeah, I can recirculate the list. I am happy to drop it to, other committees, but being the arts committee, it would be great if everyone who's a member could take one shift just to represent, if nothing else.
Abby, I'm sending you a link now so that you can share it here. Maybe everybody could say what they want to sign up for.
Okay.
Just going to put everyone in the hot seat.
Hey, my husband and I already signed up, but I can
Yep.
send you another one.
I
if you
saw
want.
Mike signed up.
Drew
It's
said
kind of
he's
those,
not doing traffic control, but he'll do anything else. So if he wants to
yeah.
go for something else, that's fine.
There's a 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 gap that's going to be crucial too.
And I would love to bring a group of like middle schoolers, but I need an adult to volunteer to supervise them. So that's in the works. It just takes a minute.
Awesome.
Okay, so traffic control, 2 of 4 slots are filled from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. And then setup, 3 of 4 are filled. We have 4 slots available for traffic control from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
And that is very crucial because that's when the majority of the artists arrive.
Throw me in on one of those slots. I don't think I have to do anything before then for the actual event, right? So yeah.
Throw you into where?
The 7:30 to 9:30, the traffic control.
Can I
think-
sign you up? Or do
Oh,
you?
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think
I
you have
will.
to-
I have to
Yeah,
do it
you have
myself.
to do
Okay.
it with your email and everything.
All right. I will do that. That
Okay.
sounds like fun.
It's got to be good at telling people no.
Oh, so good at that.
We have all the spots filled for general assistance from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. That's good. Oh, cool. That's great. He's doing the photography. He's been I've never met him, but he's been sending me pictures of the Stone Horse Green.
Nice.
So he takes really nice photographs. Okay. So, the other thing that we could do, if anyone would be interested, or I could do it, is we have a city council meeting on May 2nd. So depending on where we are with spots filling up, it would be kind of cool to have somebody from the arts committee be there at 7:30 at the beginning of the meeting and register to speak. You get 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting. So you could say, hey, we're having this event. We want to welcome everyone and invite everybody down. We also have a spot from this time to this time. If any elected officials or anyone who's in the council chambers would like to sign up to help. I mean, it's just a nice way to promote the event.
Well, Erin, if you're not if you're not interested, I'll volunteer as tribute. But I would definitely defer to you and Michelle since you've been doing this longer than me.
Yeah, I don't think I would have a conflict that night. Trying to think of my other obligations or potential obligations. I think the other ones are 2nd and 4th week, so I should be fine on May 2nd. Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, more the merrier, right?
Cheering
Represent.
section.
One of you could speak and the other one could literally walk the piece of paper to each council person and say,
Jolene's good at that.
Oh,
She's good at pushing it.
yeah.
here.
I am very pushy. Yes, happy to.
It's 7:30, Abby, or 7?
7:30.
It's at 7:30.
Okay.
Fair
And
enough.
Michelle will have the posters by then. She sent over the poster design today, and we're gonna get, I think, 50 posters printed. So we could even bring a poster and hold it up.
Awesome. But yeah, so let me see if I'm missing any other updates. We've kind of verified with everything else, really volunteers just to stack up for the day is the main thing that we're
Erin, are we still looking for another food truck?
technically, yes, Michelle found one and then they got back to her and they're
Yeah.
like, just kidding. We forgot we were already committed, which is where I'm getting nervous because that Cafe Costa Rica had committed to us and now they haven't responded to my emails like verifying when they're arriving, so hopefully they didn't double commit, but
Got it.
Um,
So if anyone knows of anyone, we're looking for savory, right? Because we've got the sweets covered.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you reach out to the pasta one? What was it called? Common pasta, I think.
Yeah, they were a no.
There
We
were
reached
no-
out to all the past ones, yeah.
Okay.
So we
So-
have Sabor Reggio that was there last year that damaged their truck.
They're coming.
Yes, they're coming.
Okay.
And Lily's Sweet Treats for the sweet, and then Cafe Costa Rica is our second savory.
Okay. I'll think about that. Okay.
Yeah, those are really the updates. Other than that, we just, need some more volunteers and more artists, and we should be set as far as everything else, so.
Okay. Do you want me to move on then?
Yep,
You can put me down for a closing shift or like maybe like a 3 to 6, or I don't know if I could do the early morning, but I could definitely come later in the day.
now we definitely
Awesome.
traffic control around 4:30 starting.
Is that when they start packing up usually?
They're not supposed to pack up until 5, but sometimes they like to pack up earlier, and which is why it's
Yeah,
good to have
yeah, sure.
traffic
I'd be
control
happy
there
to
a
do
little
that.
early.
I have a commitment that morning, but later in the day I should be all good.
Okay, I will
Awesome.
recirculate the list then, because I think everyone's got to sign up themselves, like with their email and
Okay. I don't
login.
know if I ever got the link, but I could do it.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Sebastian. Woohoo.
Okay. Item number 4, discussion and recommendation on the 2023 percent for arts project location. So I guess that's me. The working group has been meeting to discuss, well, originally we were supposed to discuss the 2024 capital budget planning. So it all kind of links together. And we decided not to move forward with a 2024 capital budget request because we haven't finished our, was it 2022 capital budget request, or was it 2021? Now I can't remember what year it was.
2022.
2022, okay, which is the utility boxes. So we thought it would look really irresponsible if we went to the common council and asked for another request for funding when we haven't fulfilled the first one. So we're gonna hold off on the capital budget request and focus on percent for arts because we have funding there. And we came up with 2 potential locations for artwork. And just as a reminder, the 2023 percent for arts budget is $30,000. We do have to put out a request for proposals once we decide on the location. So I guess, do you want me to just dive into each location, Abby? Is that the best
Sure.
way? Okay, so the first potential location that we're looking at, oh, as a reminder, it has to be in TID 5. So we have to stay within that map boundary. And this one
And
does.
Yeah, and some of these artists, just so everyone knows, we already talked with Parks Department to get input, and that kind of guides some of these locations, so.
So the first location is at the roundabout, but not in the roundabout. It is across the street, and there's like a little not wetland, that's a bad thing to say. It's not really wet. It's a little like grassy area. It's adjacent to the trailhead. Yes, Abby's pointing to it now. They said that we could move the trash can, so.
And the trash can, I ran out there last week and the trash can is not there. I don't
Oh,
know if
it's
they
not?
did, but it's not there right now.
I forgot to run by and take pictures. So for this piece, like I said, we'd have to do a request, so I'm not entirely sure what the piece would be, but it would have to be like a sculpture that would, be in that parameter of space, so not too overly obtrusive. And maybe it would have something to do with nature since it's adjacent to the Pheasant Branch Conservancy. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that either. Was there any other concerns on this location?
There's a little interpretive trail map sign here, but we talked with Kylie, our Parks and Rec director and she said, oh, we can just pop that right over here to this other side. That would be no problem. And then there wouldn't really be anything conflicting in this spot.
Okay.
Yeah, and just so everyone's aware, we did also ask them about being kind of closer on that left side, but they're redoing all of their signage. So Kylie pretty much said we don't want to put anything near that sign and have to potentially move a sculpture or something down the road. So
Yeah, they wouldn't want something blocking the sign. And if we put it behind the sign, they might kind of compete with each other. So
Mhm. So this is location number 1, and just so everyone knows, we're planning to vote today on which location to move forward with. So keep that in mind. Location number 2 is at Lakeview Park, and we do have a particular piece in mind, not to say that we have to move forward with this, but our thought was to do the Middleton sign reinstalled here after it gets fixed. And it would be behind the walking path. Yeah, Abby's kind of pointing at it now, so that when you're on the walking path, you'd be able to view it, and then the green space would be behind it. And then again, we would have to do a request for proposals. So we aren't entirely sure what the Middleton sign will look like in the end, but it would be something colorful and artsy, and the lighting would be not within the sign, but like lights projected on it. I don't know what that's called. So both of these locations have been okayed by Parks and Rec. And so we just need to know which one to focus our energies on.
Abby, if we, just hypothetical here, if we used like part of the money at one location, are we able to carry over whatever balance to be used at a different location?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm just wondering because I think that the Middleton letters, if we're doing a $30,000 cap and we have to pay for artists, that's what I'm giving you this hypothetical for.
It's gonna be too much, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Whereas if we did something the other location and had money left over that could be kicked forward towards this. Because I mean, the quote they gave us was 40,000 with all their options all in.
Mhm.
But if we're doing a call for artists for like each separate letter, like that's gonna kind of add up fast, even if we're not paying them like a ton, right? What do we pay per image for the bus shelter or utility box? Wasn't it like 600?
Yes, I believe so. 1,400 to fabricate, 600 for their design.
Okay. So that's all I'm putting out there for consideration, that I'd hate to go down the path and be like, well, no, we can't afford it, so we can't install it.
Right, but we get this every year, right? So could we do
Yes.
2 years? I believe, Abby, you said earlier, we could do 2 years worth on one project, like use 23 and 24 money.
Right, that's why I'm
60K.
curious if we have carryover from doing like a sculpture in the one location, and then that leftover plus the next year could fund this fully. Just thoughts.
Yeah,
It's a good point, because I do think for each letter, we'll have to pay more than $600. Probably more like the budget of the, maybe somewhere between that and the Buc-ee's, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot more work.
Yeah, and just in the effort of like getting something out there, right?
Mhm.
From my perspective, I think that the sculpture for the Conservancy would be, if you're looking for something that can get done sooner and be a win, that one is a much easier one to tackle. Whereas the Middleton sign at this location, I'm concerned about soils and the high groundwater table and what is going to have to be put into supports to keep it, from sinking into the ground at that Lakeview Park location. You have PRFC involvement, and they already, I've heard concerns about other topics about that park getting really crowded with it having so many different features. And I could even see them saying, we want a master plan for how this fits into the rest of the use of the park. That would add time. I think also with them being ground mounted in a location that has high ped traffic, unlike this spot we had talked about, I think that we're gonna have to be very concerned about sharp edges, making sure that we're smoothing everything over, because there are gonna be kids that are gonna climb on it at that spot. I mean, Erin knows this, our kids are gonna climb on it. So like, you have to make sure that they're not gonna get cut or hurt. And then also extending electricity to that spot for external lighting is gonna be complicated and a little bit more expensive unless you're going strictly solar, which, you know, there's still maintenance involved, swapping batteries, things like that. So I think that it kind of depends what the arts committee wants to go with. Do you want something that you can get done, you know, potentially even this year, although that might be a stretch, or do you want to focus on a longer term project?
From my opinion, I think that this is why I gravitate towards doing the other location, because it would give us time to work out all these details. I'm not saying drop it, you know, but like get some initial feedback from the PRFC. And honestly, I think that we should have Sign Art like redo the quote particular to this location for any structural reinforcement that wasn't included on the first one, because I do not have expertise there. But you know, just work out all those things that Abby mentioned, so that we don't vote for this and then have a huge stall for a year plus.
Katie has her hand, oh, Jolene and Katie have their hands up. I think maybe Katie was first.
Just to further the argument in the same direction that everyone seems to be going in, the Parmenter Street was a goal for like a spine of the artwork we wanted to kind of concentrate it on. And so I think that just adds another factor in that location's favor. So I think that's all I had.
Jolene?
I'm gonna go ahead and second Erin. I think like going for that win, you know, I mean, right, we kind of have a reputation we're trying to build, and I think we have an awesome committee full of really dedicated folks. And if we can get that one small win or a small to medium win, you know, we're, you know, think of us like a sports team, we're in a growth year. And so we're looking at having the clout then maybe later on to partner with tourism or CDA or whomever we so desire, you know, when we start producing, if you will. So yeah, I second the smaller project, you know, bite off something small. You know, and as excited as I was on the first day of my, you know, joining the committee about, you know, a Hollywood sign for Middleton. I think the reality is, you know, it's important for us to have, you know, just a PR win first.
So do we need to make a motion, Abby? Somebody needs to make one?
I think that would be a good next step, and then we could draft an RFP and see what the group thinks about like what kind of guidance we want to give to any artists that we would want to distribute this to.
So I'd make a motion to vote on the location for the TIFF project, or are we making a motion to select that one? I'm not sure what we're supposed to do.
I think to select the.
Oh, then
location.
let me rescind that. I make a motion to select the Parmenter roundabout area as our TIFF 2023 project.
I'll second that. This is Katie.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Do we have any further discussion?
I think I feel a little strange voting at this point because I just, well, I apologize. I had to be gone for so much. This normally won't happen, but it's been a really slow day except for when this meeting started. So I'm not sure. I think you have a quorum without me. If I can count. Is that right, Abby?
No.
Yeah, and you're present for the quorum purposes. So we just need a majority of those present that constitute a quorum to pass the motion. So we're good.
Good.
Are you abstaining, Jessica, from that one?
I think just because I feel like I'm not quite prepared since I missed half of the discussion. So yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll mark you down as abstaining.
Perfect.
So back when we were first meeting about these locations, Jolene had found an artist and her studio is in, what was it, like Hammond, Wisconsin?
I can't even remember. But
And she had a sculpture called Crane Duet. And I just sent the picture to Abby.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up.
And I would love to send her an RFP. Is that, do you just out of the blue send an artist an RFP?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's probably, for discussion at the next meeting, but I think that that's probably the direction we want to go is nature direct, right, for the placement of it. Like, I don't think we want someone to just throw some, I don't know, like a Lego sculpture there. Like, I think we are going to give the nature
I
direction.
think it would have to enhance the beauty of the conservancy.
Yeah.
Well, I think the subcommittee can meet again after this and we'll come up with some more guidelines for the RFP.
Mhm.
And then we can present that at the next
That's
meeting.
like the dream sculpture right there.
Katie's already made up her mind.
I'm done.
And yeah, that's in Drummond. And honestly, oh, there's a visit option. So could do a studio tour. Hey, field trip subcommittee.
Hey, hey.
There you go.
So for the RFP, and this, I'm just sharing this because I don't know if I'll be part of your subcommittee meeting or not, but we have a few examples. So we kind of have a template. So there are going to be, some areas that will obviously change and we'll want to provide direction and a budget. Any other information, I mean, I think we would want to carry forward that we want it to be durable in all types of weather. Are you going to be asking for artists to show a piece of work that they would propose there, or are you asking them to share their qualifications and examples of their other work and then have them design something site specific?
I would kind of like both. I
Mm-hmm.
think anyone submitting on that should be able to submit, at least one or two sketches of an idea they have, and then examples that they can actually bring it to life, right?
And I would think that we would want to solicit any information on maintenance costs if there were any, like to, I guess, either it needs to last X number of years or it's like, it'll need another coating of this or that in 5 years, and then just find out what those costs might be if they've had that experience. That I would throw that in there too.
And Abby, do we have to factor in like insurance costs into this number
Well,
or maintenance or anything like that?
I think that when we enter into a contract with the selected artist, we would require them to carry insurance in case they were injured while they were, installing the piece. But I think that's what we would do after we go with the RFP or the RFQ. It's sometimes if you're just asking for their qualifications, but not asking for a specific proposal. And I think that we have a pretty good template agreement now that our city attorney has okayed for use for this kind of thing. So it would just be a matter of kind of revising the template. But I'm guessing he requires a certain level of insurance coverage. I don't remember what that is.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of damage with like the self-made man, but I suppose that's just automatically under
okay.
the city's policy if it's on city land, right?
Yes, and our finance director will ask for the information about the cost, and then he will add that to our policy. So when
Okay.
it gets installed, it would be added to our policy.
Gotcha.
Abby, I'll try and include you in that meeting. We'll pick a date that works for you so that you can
Okay.
tell us how it's done.
Well, and actually, if I attend, probably what I would do is I would just share screen with the template and we would just work on revising it during the meeting and come up
Okay.
with a draft right there.
Okay, sounds good. I'll send out some dates.
Okay.
So I think we're moving on to item 5. Which we kind of already discussed. So the 2024 capital budget planning, we decided not to follow through that this year. But if you want to, Abby, maybe just take it off the agenda for now and then add it again next January, I guess, then we can discuss if we want to do one next year. I'm not sure if we'll need the money now that we get the 0.5% for arts, but
I think
Depends
that's
on-
a smart move because I feel like a little bit of what I've been feeling is that, you know, like it's exciting to work on public art stuff. And so we're like, oh, let's go do this. So let's go do this. But we're really kind of limited in terms of like my capacity to be able to like get projects done. And also like, you know, we kind of need to focus around, you know, a couple things and get them checked off before we, you know, move on to the next thing. So I think that's smart to not try to go for the capital budget. We've still got the funding we're using for the bus shelters, and we've made really good progress on that. And then if we focus on getting this sculpture and then start getting the research for whatever next year's budget would go toward, I think that's a really good path.
okay. So moving on to item 6, maintenance of the collection, including self-made man and invisible work in Visible Earth.
Yep, and I'm just leaving those, you know, on the agenda. For my correspondence with both the conservator who's going to do the work for Self-Made Man and Dama, who is going to do the work for Invisible Work, Invisible Earth. Those are both going to be starting up, or more, they're going to have availability to do the work with the weather turning. So I'm going to reach out to both just to get an estimate of when they think that they can plug us into the schedule.
Okay,
Got it.
so we don't need to do anything about that today.
No.
Nope, we've already selected the conservator for Self-Made Man, and Invisible Work will be done at no cost to us by Dama.
Okay. Item 7, funding options update on donor box and 0.5% for arts.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I have not gotten the donor box thing figured out. I just need to sit down and move it up on the to-do list and get it done, but I will try to work on that for the next meeting.
Phillips isn't here. Oh, I guess I could update the update for item 8, update on the youth center project. Michelle and I there's only one more left, and Michelle and I are going to do origami, which I don't know how to do, so this will be very interesting.
Oh, Meg, I have a whole book my daughter got for her birthday. She's been knocking it out, so maybe she can be your little apprentice.
Yeah, I should have my daughter teach me too. Michelle's sending me videos so I can teach myself, but I'm really just doing it for moral support because origami is not my form of art, but that's okay. I will go there and I will help her. And we were supposed to have Rhiannon do it, and I guess Rhiannon moved to Chicago. And so we were like, add an artist at the last minute. And so we're improvising. So it'll be fine. I'm sure the kids will have fun and get very frustrated because origami is very frustrating.
Yes,
Speaking of Rhiannon moving, I knew she was moving because I got called for a reference for her. Is she still participating in the art walk or not?
She was supposed to be. Michelle was in contact with her. I've not heard anything about her not, but I suppose we should check in on that too. I don't know if Michelle's aware she moved to Chicago. Well, if she knows
Yeah.
about the youth center, she has to know.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll check on that too.
That will be the end of the youth center for the year. And then I'm sure that Michelle will bring it up again in the fall when it starts back up again.
Hey, Meg.
Megan has their hand
Yeah.
raised.
Hey, Meg, I was just gonna say that I have like a stack of origami paper that I bought during COVID for the kids to play with that they never touched. So if you want it, I'll drop it by. Just tell me where.
I'll pass that on to Michelle.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Thank you.
sure. One less thing in my house. Thank you.
I say we all got very desperate during the pandemic beginning there, right? Anything to occupy you.
It's such a quiet activity. No,
It
it's not
is.
a quiet activity. Not when there's two. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so item 9, update on Madison Metro Bus Shelter Art Project.
Yep, so I think I mentioned the last meeting that the new transit service is going into effect in June. I believe it's June 11th. And so all of the bus pads, shelter locations, etc., or many of them are changing. We will have the artwork installed after the new service is in place, or at least after the shelters are in place. And I spent a lot of my afternoon working on a phased plan for bus stop improvements because beginning in June, we're going to have some bus pads that are not going to have ADA accessibility. We are also going to look at adding bike racks to all the bus locations, which was Alderwoman Wokas's idea, and I don't know why we have never had bus stops or bike racks at bus shelters, but we're looking at adding amenities. So it'll be really nice. We're kind of freshening up the whole system when the new service goes into effect, and that will include artwork as well. So very cool.
Awesome. Thanks for your work on that. Anything else on bus shelters?
That's all.
Okay, so number 10, pop-up art updates, Summers.
Pop-up art. Well, we didn't meet last month, so the news is that it didn't happen this last Monday, and it's not going to happen the Monday in May because Middleton took back their snow days. So there's no kids out of school to do the pop-up art. So with committee opinions, I would like to redirect that to some either summer activities or downtown activities with Matt. I continue to slaughter his last name.
Stroh-Snyder.
Snyder. That we might have some opportunities to just pair up just like they do with parks and the library and everything as some alternate pop-up art ideas. It was very popular the summer we did it in what is now Stonehorse Green. So I think there's some opportunities there for sure, if everybody's on board with that.
I think that'd be great. Everyone really loved that last time.
Okay, yeah, and I talked to Kylie about like the possibility of switching 2 of those days to like weekends and just like the shelter availability and their recreation programming just kind of isn't a good fit to do it on a weekend. So I think special events are probably our best bet for spring, summer here, and then we can get back on track with the out of school days come fall.
Jolene, do you have your hand up still? No.
You're muted.
Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Okay, I think that's a good plan. So you'll just update us on that when you know more.
Yeah, what I can do is between now and our next meeting, I can just reach out to Matt and see what little collaboration opportunities are out there.
Okay. The last item agenda 11, determine whether to continue on Zoom or return to in-person meetings.
Yeah, so I just put this on the agenda because our CDA had asked me to have it on their agenda. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe the Arts Committee would like to reconsider that as well. So we have the option in this committee to continue meeting remotely. We could also go back to City Hall. We could also hold a hybrid meeting in City Hall, which I'm open to doing, but I do want to just try to persuade you a little bit that if we go the hybrid route, I would very much appreciate it if people would show up in person, because we did have one committee that went back to hybrid and everybody decided to stay on Zoom. So it was just the city employee going to City Hall for the meetings each time. So they decided to go back to Zoom. So I'm open to whatever you all want to do. I live close by. It's no problem at all to, if you would like to go back to in person and want to start meeting in person again, whatever whatever works best for everybody.
I am probably the minority here, but I would love to be in person. Per the screaming that goes on in the background here with 4 children. And I just feel like there's a lot more collaborative discussion that happens when it's in person. Just from my experience on other committees. So whether that's, I would vote hybrid or in person, but I know
Julia?
others have dedicated workspaces that.
I was just wondering if we did come in person, is there an area where like our kids could sit like in a spot like off to the side for supervision?
I mean, we would be in conference room B at City Hall, and we definitely have, I mean, we had one committee member who regularly brought her daughter, and
Yeah, I brought my kids before.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty informal.
As
but-
long as they can, be independent. Like when I was on
Yeah.
Parks, Sue would bring her granddaughter for every single meeting and she just kind of do her electronics in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, bring the Nintendo.
Yeah. I guess I'll weigh in. I don't really have a strong preference one way or another, but I do have to agree with Erin that the like idea generation and stuff like that, it's a little bit easier when you're in person because on Zoom it's kind of hard to like talk over each other. Or like even speak sometimes. But I see perks to being on Zoom as well.
Do
Jolene?
we want to try hybrid then so that those who have challenges,
Yeah.
maybe getting there at a specific time have the Zoom option and Abby won't be by herself because I'll definitely be there.
Jolene
in
has her
person.
hand up. Let's see what she says.
Actually, that's what I was gonna say. Because I agree, because Aaron, like I, joined in the Zoom times, and I, like, if I hadn't come out and got to see you in person and got to meet, because you just form better connections in person. So I agree with in person. I do hope that we can keep hybrid, because I'm definitely like, today it was like 5:32 and I'm like, get done with work, throw dinner on the table and all of that. So, and it's only like a 5-minute or 8-minute drive or something, but if we can do hybrid at all,
Mhm.
with
Oh,
the
yeah.
understanding that we're trying to be in person, I'd really like that, I think, personally.
Yeah, and to be clear, we have the ability to do hybrid, and we can use remote and in-person people to make up the quorum. I was just saying, if you choose the hybrid, which we will do if we decide, it sounds like we're moving in the direction where we're gonna do that. I just didn't want it to be me every time.
Yeah,
we only want
no.
sitting in the conference room. That was all.
Yeah, gotcha. And then, yeah, because like then when I run into people like Meg in the wild, I'm not just going, "Wow, do I know you?"
In the
kidding.
wild.
Sorry, like the whole world, just how it goes. It comes to you through your screen, and you forget that there's actual bodies attached to these heads. So yeah, as much as I don't like leaving home, I'm doing it for this.
Hybrid's important just for the fact that we have difficulty making quorum depending on people's obligations. So, yeah. Do we need a motion?
No, I'll just schedule your next meeting for hybrid. So the agenda will have the Zoom link, and the Zoom link will still be embedded in the calendar invitation. But the agenda will also have conference room B reserved at City Hall. So when you come into City Hall, for those of you who haven't been to City Hall in a while, you come in the front doors of City Hall, you turn to the left, like towards the clerk's office where you maybe have dropped it off a ballot or something in the past. And then you just go right down the hallway, and then on the right-hand side is the conference room where we will meet.
Cool. Awesome. You have your hand up still, Jolene?
Oh, this time it's for real, but I was just wondering, is there a new business opportunity, or do we just need to email Abby and get it on the agenda for the next one?
Can it fit under one of the topics that was already noticed on the agenda?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Maybe not. So yeah, I can just email you for the next
Okay.
one if that's easier.
Yep, and I will put it on the agenda, and our next meeting will be held on Thursday, May 18th, which is 2 days before Art Walk.
Yep, good timing.
Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I can do that. This is Katie. I'll move that we adjourn.
I will second that. This is Erin.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Good to
thank
see
you.
everyone. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
See ya.
Bye-bye. See you later.